Welcome to AI in 8 minutes or less, your daily AI update. Okay, let's dive right in. Something big is happening. We've just seen two major events that, on the surface, might seem totally separate. But trust me, they're not. They're deeply connected, and they're signaling this fundamental shift in technology and even global power. We're talking about a blockbuster partnership in the chip world and a brand new, pretty startling vision for military power. And when you put them together, well, it all points to one single massive plan.
So let's kick things off with that first piece of the puzzle. This is a blockbuster partnership that honestly caught a lot of people in the industry completely by surprise. So get this. Intel, one of the most important chip companies in America, a real titan of the industry, just announced they're joining Terafab. And if you haven't heard of Terafab, it's this incredibly ambitious chip factory project from Tesla, SpaceX, and xAI. Now, this isn't some small side deal. This is a giant of Silicon Valley going all in, and I mean all in, on Elon's vision. So you gotta ask, right? Why does this make so much sense for both sides? Well, for Tesla and xAI, it's all about execution. I mean, building these chip fabs is just mind-bogglingly complex. You can't just wing it. They need a partner with decades of deep experience. And, really importantly, they need an American partner. Why? Because this kind of tech is a huge deal for national security. And then you look at Intel. They've been trailing competitors a bit lately, so for them, this is a golden opportunity. It's a chance to jumpstart their business and align with a project that's all about high growth and a totally new direction. But here's the thing. This partnership isn't just about making better chips. No, it's about a completely new philosophy of how you even think about making them. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting because you can see the huge difference in strategy. Think about NVIDIA. Their genius is making the absolute best peak performance chip you can imagine for all sorts of different uses. But they're always fighting against constraints, right? Things like energy use, cost, all the real-world problems here on Earth. Terafab, totally different game. They're not trying to make a Swiss Army knife. They're designing a chip for one single purpose, AI inference, and they're optimizing it to be cranked out at a massive, almost unimaginable scale. See, the goal here isn't to try and beat NVIDIA at their own game. It's to change the game entirely. And this is classic Elon. His real magic weapon has always been economics. He's not trying to win the battle for peak performance. He's looking at a completely different problem. How do you manufacture a virtually unlimited number of chips for a future where the old rules, the old constraints just don't apply anymore? Which brings up the obvious question, right? Who on Earth needs an unlimited number of chips? Well, that's just it. The answer isn't on Earth. For years, the whole business case for going to space, beyond just putting up satellites, was pretty fuzzy. But the AI boom, that changed everything. Suddenly, there's a reason. The real demand for all these chips comes from this wild new plan, building massive AI data centers up in orbit, where they can be powered by what is essentially free and limitless solar energy. And the key, the one number that makes this entire vision work, is this: $100 per kilogram. That's the magic number. That's Starship's goal, to get the cost of launching stuff into orbit down to just $100 a kilo. If they can hit that price, it unlocks everything. Because at that price, the entire economic model of space just gets turned on its head. It's the key that takes this from a crazy science fiction idea to something that isn't just possible but actually profitable. Think about it. It means that building and running a giant AI data center in space could actually become cheaper than doing it here on Earth. And once that happens, you've suddenly created a near infinite demand for Starship launches. We're not talking about a few missions here and there anymore. We're talking about a full-blown industrial supply chain to orbit. And once you have that kind of economic advantage, well, it very quickly spirals into a strategic and military one. And this is that second big event I mentioned at the start, the other piece of this puzzle. Not long ago, the Wall Street Journal published this opinion piece that laid out the pretty stark geopolitical implications of all this. With launch costs dropping like a rock, the US could literally park conventional weapons in orbit, ready to strike anywhere on the planet within minutes, all without risking a single plane or pilot. Now, this isn't just some new-fangled idea about logistics. It taps into a military doctrine that's literally thousands of years old. Whoever holds the high ground wins. It's just that simple. And what this shows so clearly is that in the 21st century, the ultimate high ground isn't a hill or a mountain range anymore. It's low Earth orbit. The advantage is so massive, in fact, that the article argues some of Starship's tech should be treated like top national secrets.
And this is what leads us to the end game. Suddenly, all these companies that seemed separate, Tesla, SpaceX, XAI, Terafab, they're all starting to look less like individual companies and more like interconnected parts of one giant machine. When you see chips, AI, energy, transportation, and now defense all flowing through this one interconnected web, a merger starts to feel, well, almost inevitable. The investor Chamath Palihapitiya even put the odds at pretty much 100%.
And it makes sense, right? A merger would make everything simpler. It would streamline how things are run, it would end all those debates about where Elon is spending his time, and it would just formalize the incredible synergies that are already there. But what's pushing all of this? What's the accelerator? It's one thing: the race to build AGI. This is an exponential race, which means being just a little bit ahead of the competition could mean winning everything. So, combining all your assets, chips, data, talent under one roof, that's how you maximize your speed when every single second counts.
What we're witnessing here is the rise of corporate power on a scale that honestly rivals and might soon even surpass nation-states. And that leaves us with one last big question to think about. As all of these incredible capabilities in AI, in space, in defense, as they all converge under what could become a single corporate umbrella, what does that actually mean for the future of global power? Are we watching a new world order take shape right before our eyes? If you enjoyed this, subscribe to AI in 8 Minutes and never miss what matters.